So welcome back. So I've already shown you guys a lot of different things we can do with the NT framework, but how do we actually get the information that we need to figure out how we'll work with the NT framework in the clean architecture and stuff like that, and in a REST API, blah, 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 blah. Well, the cool thing here is as soon as you talk about repositories, as soon as you talk about getting data from the database, that's the only place you need to focus on the NT framework. So for instance, in the next couple of lessons, I'll show you how to update and how to delete your customer instances. Now to figure that out, what you need to do is, if you're at this point all the way down to the entity framework in the repositories, what you have to do is pretty much just jump into a page like this. This is one of them. There's many good ones out there, but this is the one I like to use, the entity framework tutorial.net right here. And here you can actually see so many things about how you'll use and work with this entity framework. So I just wanted to make a simple video here just discussing where you can get a lot of great information. Now notice right here, I have a bit about querying. That's what we just did actually. Now we have two different queries that we talked about. The one that I just used was where I kind of included not a single grade like he's doing here, but I actually included a list of information like he's doing right here. Notice he's including a single grade, then including a list of teachers. I'll show you this later, but since he has a list right here, he'll end up with two different queries. Now he explains all of that in here. It's so perfect. You guys can just go and check this out and see the power of using this. And look at the queries here we would have to make ourselves if we didn't have the NT framework. But you still should look at the queries because it makes sense to learn some of it yourself. Because you won't always be in an NT framework or some kind of ORM framework. So you might have to write some SQL queries yourself. So get used to them. Just play around with these queries. Now, he also has a more simple select statement right here where he kind of actually uses SQL himself. You can also do that. That's amazing if you want to. You can say from SQL do this and then include an actual grade. And again, you'll notice that's possible. The final one I want to show you is actually the simple include that he makes right here, the first include. This is a single include, and there he gets back just a join right away. So he only has one query. Now the reason we have two queries again is because we're using a list of orders on a customer. So that was querying, but what if we want to save data? Let's jump to the next one. We want to save data, right? Now there's a lot about saving data right here, but I want to just scroll to the bottom right away because we're actually not going to save data, we're going to save disconnected data. So you have to jump to this link instead, saving disconnected data. Pretty much meaning that we are always going to send a request to the backend and be in a stateless form where the data we're sending is disconnected from the database, because you just have objects that doesn't know they belong in a database right now. So we're going to have to look a bit at these at this setup right here. Now the way that next lesson we'll look at the delete, but right now this is how you add an item. Perfectly easy, just like we're doing right now. We say context add the student that we just created, everything runs like it should, and this is the SQL statement we create. Let's just keep scrolling. What if we want to update? Well, that's a bit more tricky, so I'll just skip that one for now and jump to delete data, because how do we delete? And that's what we're actually going to do next lesson. So go and check this out and try and figure out if you, with this link and this information, can actually go and delete your customer or your pet inside your code. And then next lesson what we'll do is we'll actually execute this command right here.